My name is Sister Virginia Fornasa, and I'm a Marist missionary sister. 50 years ago this year, in 1963, I graduated from a Catholic high school in northern New Jersey. I know that that school prepared me and my classmates not only academically to go to college and beyond, but with the Christian values of love of God and neighbor that led us to lives of caring for others. Many of my classmates went into service professions, teaching, social work, and healthcare around the New York, New Jersey area. I wanted to go farther, to reach out to people in greater need in countries beyond our borders. So later that same year, I entered the Marist Missionary Sisters in Waltham, Massachusetts.
Our congregation is one of several Marist religious congregations who trace our roots to the founding of the Society of Mary in France in the 19th century. The Marist Fathers, founded by Jean-Claude Collin, the Marist Sisters, founded by Jean-Marie Chavoin, and the Marist Brothers, founded by Saint Marcellin Champagnat. Unlike these others, we Marist missionary sisters claim no founder or foundress. We grew instead from a movement of courageous French women who set sail for the South Pacific Islands between 1845 and 1860. The first one, Marie-Françoise Perroton, responded to a call from the women of the islands for teachers. She was the only missionary woman on the island of Wallis for nearly 13 years, before 3 other women came from France to join her. They were followed by others who also wanted to consecrate themselves to God and to the service of mission, according to the Marist spirit, for the whole of their lives. We call the first 11 women Marist missionaries in the Pacific our pioneers. Very soon after the arrival of our pioneers, Pacific Island women joined the sisters. We have been an international and multicultural congregation from our origins, ready to respond to the needs of people in the most remote and poorest areas. In addition to the Pacific Islands, you will find Marist missionary sisters in Jamaica, Peru, Colombia, the Philippines, Bangladesh, Senegal, Rwanda, and Burundi. Today I want to talk with you about our most recent outreach in mission to the people of a remote and impoverished area of Tanzania in the Diocese of Shinyanga. Shinyanga is in northern Tanzania, just south of Lake Victoria. It is an area of flat land and gentle hills. About 90% of the people in that area are farmers, but the climate is dry and the water scarce for very productive agriculture. A small international group of Marist missionary sisters arrived in Shinyanga at the invitation of the late Bishop Aloysius Balina in January 2007. After a short time of orientation, they began to work in both pastoral ministry and education. Sister Anne-Marie Wuste, originally from Germany, had served for many years as a nurse and pastoral minister in the Pacific Islands, and also for several years in Uganda, ministering to people with AIDS, before coming to this new mission in Tanzania. In Shinyanga, Sister Anne-Marie introduced a new program for pastoral visitors to the sick and homebound, in which volunteers prepare to minister spiritually to the needs of those who are gravely ill and to their families. More than 1,800 pastoral visitors have been trained. Their weekly visits to the sick, the bereaved, and those who have been estranged from the Church are greatly appreciated throughout the area. The other sisters began working at the Buhangija High School. This school of nearly 400 students, about half of whom are boarders, has been in existence since 1984, but has continually faced the obstacle of poverty in all its forms. Many of the students were orphaned when their parents died of AIDS. After the Marists had been on the staff there for 2 years, Sister Makalita Meni was asked by the bishop to become the principal. Sister Makalita, from Samoa, had many years' experience as a teacher and school administrator in the Pacific Islands. Later, Sister Malia Losalia, also from Samoa, who had also worked in the Pacific and in Africa, in Rwanda, joined the teaching staff. Sister Ludeline Paterno from the Philippines is the bursar at the school and the local community leader for the sisters.
We're lucky to have Sister Frances Anna with us today. She's originally from New Zealand and was in the first group of sisters to arrive in SHINYANGA in 2007. Sister Frances Anna devoted herself to upgrading the library of the school and taught one of the women there to carry on the job of librarian. She'll tell us something of what the sisters found when they arrived and what they've tried to do in the past few years to improve the situation.
When I think of our first years at Buhangija Secondary School, I think of the Lord's parable of a treasure hidden in a field. When we sisters first began to work there in 2007, it seemed a pretty barren field indeed.
Among the students, there were a great number who were very, very poor families, and there were many orphans. The school had declined in quality learning and was also in financial strife. There was an air of despondency and a lack of enthusiasm among both staff and students. Indeed, a huge challenge lay ahead of us. But the hidden treasure lay right within all the chaos, the dignity and potential of both students and staff. Over the past 5 years, we have been able to reverse some of those negative conditions by gradual improvements in the living conditions and educational standards and resources for the school. We were also able to provide a pleasant library with many more textbooks, since students cannot afford to purchase their own books. The reward is seen in the smiles of the students and the improved morale of both student and staff. In our first year there, 3 of the 4 boys obtained excellent grades in the national government exams and will soon graduate from university. 1 will complete his degree as a medical doctor. This is continuing as more students pursue university degrees. The education of girls has always been a priority for us Marist missionary sisters, especially in places where traditionally it was not seen as important. With some improvements in boarding facilities and security for the girls, as well as the personal encouragement of the sisters and the financial support of donors who have helped us to make these improvements possible, there are now many more girls than boys at the school. Now the school has risen from being almost bottom of the pile to becoming one of the best schools in academic achievement in the area. Even more importantly, it's a delight to see the transformation of the teachers and staff, who have become more dedicated to their work as educators, and the students who are eager and delighted to discover the treasure of their own hidden talents. The deepest treasure of all, of course, is to become better Christians and better community members, learning to share and care for one another, plus sharing their learning with parents and siblings is extremely important.
Of course, there is an ongoing need to support these students who still, even today, may only be receiving one meal a day, yet walk 2 hours or more twice a day to attend classes. There are the daily needs of the school, food for the boarders, medical needs, school stationery, school uniforms, shoes, and the yearly upgrading of textbooks for the library, plus the never-ending upkeep of the school. But what is more important is that we continue to empower the whole school body to deepen their newfound positive attitudes, share their talents and gifts, and make life a better place for all. I believe that we continue to do this with the generosity of people who help us to discover these hidden treasures. We continue to place our trust in the hands of our Blessed Mother and her loving Son.
Thank you, Sister. I'm sure that if you are in a Catholic high school today, you're working hard academically, and very likely your parents are making financial sacrifices to keep you there. I know mine did.
But just try to imagine what it would be like for you to go to high school in SHINYANGA. With transport unavailable or too expensive, you'd be walking several hours a day to get back and forth to school. If your home was too far away, or if you were an orphan, you'd need to board at the school, sharing a big dormitory with dozens of others. When you want to take a shower, you'd carry a bucket of water from the one water pipe that serves the school into the newly constructed shower stalls. If you were a day student, you would get a meal of porridge in the morning because the teachers know that you would get only one meal a day at home. The main meal for the boarders consists in maize, beans, and rice. Meat is served once a week. You wouldn't have a computer or smartphone. In fact, even if you did, limited electricity would make internet access very difficult. School supplies and books are scarce. Books would need to be shared. Paper wouldn't be wasted.
Our sisters travel far from their homelands and gladly devote their lives to helping people in need in many parts of the world. What we need are partners in mission who are able to make even a small contribution to help. If you are in a school that has chosen to adopt the Buhangija Secondary School as a Lenten project, please give your contribution to your school fund for this purpose. We thank you for your help and for the sacrifice you've made to be able to share with others in a difficult situation. We will let you know what we're able to do with the funds you send, whether it is to provide scholarships for students, improvements to the food supply and living conditions, books, classroom supplies, school uniforms. Even a small donation can make a big difference for these students who are so determined to make the most of the opportunity they have for a better education. If you are not connected with such a school, you can still make a donation by visiting the website of the Marist Missionary Sisters. Thank you in advance for your generosity.